So while we are still on this matter of overadmission of students involving the University of Calabar Dentistry Department, the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, has raised the alarm that law faculties in many universities across the country are also overadmitting students in total disregard for the quotas allotted to them. In an interview with The Punch on Sunday, the president of the NBA, Afamo Osigwe, a senior advocate of Nigeria, said the overadmission of students by universities has worsened the congestion at the Nigerian law school and overstretched the system. Now, let us keep in mind that the Nigerian law school has 14 campuses spread across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Now, let us hear directly from the NBA president. He said, we should look at the proliferation of universities, the increasing demand for admission to study law, and the pressure on the law school. Too many universities are offering law, and many are abusing the admissions quota system. People can't even get into the law school, and this has created serious problems. Now, he's also said that the Nigerian law school even considered the backlog of graduates waiting to proceed to the institution and so increased its yearly admissions. So if you look around you, you might see one or two people who have graduated from law but have not been able to proceed to the law school for 1 year, 2 years running. These are the people that the NBA president is talking about. Now, what is the difference between what happened, what the NBA president is talking about, and what happened in the University of Calabar case? There is no difference. It is basically the same thing. So we just do a recap of what happened in the University of Calabar. So in July, the news broke that students of the dentistry department of Unical were protesting over the potential disruption of the academic program following the refusal by the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria to induct graduating students of the department. Now, what really happened? What was the council's reason for not wanting to induct? Now, the council gave allotted 10 students per session to the university, to the department. But over the years, the department consistently admitted students far in excess of that quota. Now, when it was time for induction, the council was being presented with 60 people who were due for induction instead of 10. So we ask this question: why do regulatory authorities insist on admission quota? So let's also take the Unical case to answer this question. So during a press conference in the heat of the Unical crisis, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Florence Obi, admitted that the MDCN actually pegged the number of students to be admitted into the program per session at 10. And this was based on the university's lack of adequate facilities to train a higher number of students. So it's about the facilities you have. So the regulatory authority looks at the facilities you have and says, because you have ABC facilities, you can only cater to ABC number of students. But often the universities and the programs totally disregard this directive and do what is on their mind. So now we also ask the question, why do universities overadmit students? Now, to also answer this question, we turn to Professor Ebenezer Adu. Professor Ebenezer Adu is a professor of educational management at the Bamidele Olomilua University of Education, Science and Technology in Ikere Ekiti, Ekiti State. Now, Professor Adu, while delivering the institution's second inaugural lecture on fixing the engine, not just the destination, aligning internal efficiency with the goals of effective schools, said universities have continued to sacrifice quality for revenue by admitting students far beyond their capacity. Now let's underline the word revenue. That's the driving force behind overadmission of students, nothing else. So this was exactly what the prof said. Some institutions admit large numbers of students to boost revenue. This leads to high teacher-pupil ratios and low quality of output. So for these universities, it all boils down to revenue drive. Obviously, the more students you admit, the more revenue you rake in. So what is the result of all of this? Over-admission of students. So you have overstretched facilities because you have admitted more students than the facilities you have. So you overstretch the facilities. So you also have high teacher-student ratios, meaning that you have more number of students per teacher than required. And then you also have poor instructional delivery, and eventually it culminates in the production of ill-equipped graduates. So in the end, everybody suffers one way or the other. The students, their parents, the universities, the society, everyone bears the brunt. So if this is the situation, what then happens? So we also ask the question, and we leave with these parting questions. Are there regulatory agencies whose responsibility it is to ensure that over-admission doesn't continue to happen? Who are these agencies? Where are they? What have they been doing? What can they do? What will they do going forward? We don't know the answers to these questions. Let these questions be something to ponder about. Thank you for listening.